All right. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can we have roll call, please?
Sure. Daisy Lee, here. Dalia Rodriguez,
Here.
Nancy Moldenhauer, Deb Chubb, Alasia Briggs, Andy James Davis,
Here.
Clarence Hulse,
You know liaison.
Faye Moore,
No, they
Here.
just asked me to show up.
Gwen Sardone,
If I could show up, I was like, yeah, okay.
Madison Grisham. That's it.
Thank you. Since we have exactly half of our commission right now, we can't do any approval of minutes, but I would appreciate any corrections right now so that we can make the corrections for the next meeting. So if you have a minute or two, please look them over.
Thank you. Because I didn't bring them.
Get one for John.
Because you always help me.
It's been stapled kind of weirdly. I'm very sorry. There's lots of room for notes for everybody.
I don't remember seeing anything.
All right.
Well, that's why I didn't remember seeing anything. I was absent.
Okay. Do the present members have any corrections or additions at this time? What do you guys think?
So did we determine that we can vote? Do we have enough to vote?
Well, we have 50% of our commission. Maybe Johnny can help us out here. What if we have exactly half? Can we vote or not? Is it a quorum?
I'm not sure if you have bylaws or.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at that. So I think generally we're going to wait till we have half plus one is what I'm going to count like a majority. So I think we're just not going to approve them, and then next meeting hopefully we can make that clear. All right. So old business, student commissioner assignments. I'm still waiting for Marquette High School to assign a student. I think Nancy has been working on it, but Nancy is out of the country right now, so I have not had an update on that. We do have a commissioner vacancy, so I would like to have people contact either me or somebody else on the commission if they would like to serve.
This is a real hard one. Because most of us, I don't know what I'm doing, really. It was hard for me to get somebody else to come in.
All right.
And join. I mean, I know what our goals are and what we're trying to do, but it's, wow.
It's everything, isn't it?
It's so much.
Yeah, it is.
It's so much.
It is indeed. But we are looking for more help. So, call out to commissioners. Please get in touch with somebody on the commission or leave a note at City Hall. I have to mention a couple of things that I saw on the minutes that I do need to refresh people's memory on. So there is that environmental justice grant. I know Deb's not here to talk about grants, so I don't know if anybody's looked into that, but I think that might be something to look into, although it is due on February 2nd, so we don't really have any match or any... Maybe we can just kind of let partners know about this grant. And one more thing I noted here. Oh, yeah. We are going to have that sustainability action plan on Saturday, January 25th from 12 to 4 at Krieger Middle School. So, please be, aware of that we're going to try to make a sustainability plan for the city. We're going to work on it. It's like a workshop. So I'm sure anybody who's interested is welcome to come.
What was that time again?
January 25th from 12 to 4 at Krieger Middle School. All right. Right.
What's the full name of that?
Sustainability Action Plan. I guess meeting or workshop, I guess we should call it. I have a meeting about that meeting tomorrow. Meta meeting. All right. So subcommittee reports. Waste Reduction Committee. Daisy, just give us a little bit of an update.
I had a meeting with my committee the other day, and some of our main goals is we want to get a composting class going for the community, because a lot of people are interested in composting at home, but maybe they don't know how to get started. So we'll have that class a few times, and Sasha G. Burns from the Solid Waste District is going to help us get that going.
It'll be sort of like a master recycler sort of program, similar to that.
Perhaps, as of right now, just a one-day gig.
Okay.
Maybe in the
Composting
future.
101 kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's Will it be after our environmental extravaganza or Earth Day or before?
Our goal is to do the first one in the spring, so we don't have a set date yet. We'll have to check that out.
Maybe that could be a promotion for you.
Yeah.
Like you can promote it at the extravaganza.
Mm.
So I'm just thinking about that. Or maybe have one and then promote the second one at the Earth Day extravaganza. So that's kind of my 2 cents.
That's a good idea. And we're looking into grants or donations to purchase at-home composting bins to give away at those classes, either as like a door prize or if we get enough money to get everyone who signs up their own compost bin to take home.
Approximately, how much do they run, like, start? Or average?
$80 starting, really.
80?
Yeah.
The spinning ones, like the front load sort of. Is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about? Okay.
But you can go up to like $500, you know?
Yeah.
And we are also looking for grants for recycling bins for the city, and we want to meet with the Parks Department to figure out how we can really get them on board, because I know it's been a struggle for them in the past to have recycling bins at the beach. I don't know exactly what the process is with them and the recycling bins, but we're going to try to get that to happen.
My biggest idea is that it's the labor needed for emptying them, because they have a pretty light staff and they're busy in the summer. So if we can figure out some way, volunteer-wise or something like work program of some kind,
Yeah.
that would be great. So that's kind of, I think we need some coordination between.
Interns.
Well, what about the people who just pick up the garbage anyway? Because ideally we'll have big bins that have a side for garbage and a side for recycling, or two bins next to each other, so then you can just take out one recycling and one trash, and then the dumpsters can be right next to each other.
It sounds sensible to me, but we have to go through them.
Yeah.
Right, the problem is people put trash in both.
Yeah.
That's the problem, especially when they're right next to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they encounter that pretty frequently down at Refuse, I know.
Really?
Yeah, I'm in their office, so yeah.
That's the.
I don't know. Maybe big signs or
Right.
I don't know what. But yeah.
All right.
That's about it.
Thank you. Water Quality Committee, I was going to report on this, but then I get someone from the actual institute, Delta Institute. So Jack here is going to talk to us about a really important community outreach program we're going to have on January 29th. We really need to get people out there to say what they want from these trails. So I'll let Jack take it away.
I'll pass out the flyer that we developed for the event. Many of you may have even been included in yesterday's preliminary email blast to get folks in the community to come out to this meeting on January 29th. First, some of you probably remember me from a few weeks ago. My name is Jack Eskin. I am a program specialist at Delta Institute. We're a partner to the Michigan City Sanitary District on stormwater management and green infrastructure projects and work. And we have been assisting them for a number of years with the Cheney Run Wetland Project, which essentially is a 40-acre wetland restoration project where a channel that flows out of a sewer outfall and goes into Trail Creek is being sort of retrofitted to be able to better capture sediment and pollution so it doesn't end up in Trail Creek. Yes.
Stormwater. Can we say that? Because sewer sounds like...
It's a storm sewer, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But just so that people aren't thinking it's a sanitary sewer.
Yes,
Right,
correct.
right.
Yeah, it's not a combined
Correct.
sanitary sewer. It's a separated stormwater
Just
outfall.
clarifying it.
Yes, I'm glad you did. In addition to all this restored wetland habitat that will be there. In addition to enhancing this wetland, the sanitary district and the city has been really interested in developing a trail system through it. And so about 6 months ago, when Ethan Brown with Alliance for the Great Lakes was still heavily involved in a lot of the work in the city, we successfully got an IDNR coastal grant to do a recreation study, which has just kicked off. My computer just turned off. I'll be sharing this deck with everyone, by the way. Nuts. And all right, so I'll just work off of. Can I have one of the flyers?
Absolutely.
Yeah. My God.
I took a couple of them because
That
I
was
put some in my office.
Incredible timing. I don't know what's up with that. All right. Essentially, we got $30,000 from the Lake Michigan Coastal Program and $30,000 from the Michigan City Redevelopment Commission to do a trails and recreational amenities feasibility study throughout the combined area of Cheney Run and of Carwick Nature Park. And the idea is to create this accessible open space asset that has all the amenities that the community would want to be able to engage folks to come and use the trails on site. But you have all these technical questions about where should the trails go? What should the surface be? Where should you put benches? What should the interpretive and educational signage be like? Should you put in the infrastructure to be able to handle people bringing their dogs? What do you need to do to make it universally accessible to not just the ADA population, but many different types of populations that would want to use the site? And what are the sorts of amenities that bring different types of users to the site? What draws in kids? What draws in seniors? And so it was clear we really wanted to undertake a study that would help us figure out what types of amenities to have on site, what it would cost, what it would take to get a lot of that stuff permitted, some of the technical questions. And this whole process kicks off with essentially a public meeting along with the whole data collection period to be able to gather public input on what sort of amenities would be really valuable to the community here. So we've scheduled that for Wednesday, January 29th, 6 p.m. at Krieger Memorial Hall. It's worth mentioning V3 Companies, who is the engineering consultant that has been working on the wetland project, which will begin construction likely in February. They're also the consultant for the feasibility study for the recreational amenities and trail system. So we've been working with their landscape architects and their engineers basically on putting this public meeting on. It will sort of be an open house format where folks can learn about the project, but also provide input on what they want to see on site and also what gets them excited about recreation in Michigan City. So we're also looking to bring in as many different types of stakeholders in the community and the region into this public meeting as possible. We'd love to be able to have great representation with the schools and student population, with the neighboring community in the general sort of Carwick area. And so over the next couple weeks, we'll be connecting with stakeholders, particularly through this residential engagement team that we formed through the Trail Creek Watershed Partnership to be able to connect these outreach materials to different folks in the community to attend this meeting. There will also be a survey that will be made available online on the Facebook page that we put together. But we're very interested in gathering any recommendations from folks on who we should engage in this process, what's a good way to sort of engage different types of groups that don't typically come to public meetings, things of that nature. So my colleague Riley, who's going to be managing a lot of the communications for this effort, his contact is on the flyer, and there is also contact information available on Facebook. But I'd be happy to answer any questions that the Commission has just about the event and the project. Oh, and I should mention this will be completed July 2020. So
That's great.
yeah.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
This will not be part of the Michigan City Parks system, correct?
It could be. This is one of the things that is being identified in the feasibility study is who should be maintaining the site. And Shannon has been very involved in the process.
Correct.
Commissioner Keenitz has been very involved in the process, and so that's one of the big answers to get from it.
How long of a trail is it going to be?
That's one of the things to figure out. The site is 40 acres. It abuts a GAF facility, which one of the sort of conditions of the project is GAF would prefer for the trails to maybe be not as close to their parcel. And so, the question is, where is the alignment and how many miles? We're not entirely sure, but certainly that's one of the things that can be informed through the public engagement. If folks want like a really substantial trail system that has a ton of miles, that potentially can be prioritized, because one of the things that comes out of this project is essentially full design for a trail system. And so, if folks are wanting, a particular amount of mileage versus something that delivers something else, that gets sort of gathered in this input phase, and then V3 uses that to create its design that's construction ready.
Because, I mean, in my opinion, too, Michigan City is lacking in trails.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have Streetville Pond, which is only a mile long. I mean, myself, I'd like to see something 4 or 5 miles.
Awesome.
So
Come to the meeting.
With trails,
So do you have to register prior to coming to the meeting?
No, there's no RSVP, and if you or anybody knows that it would be difficult to attend the meeting, we'd encourage folks to at least provide commentary on the survey link. There will be a Survey Monkey that will be available. It'll be available starting January 29th, which is the date of the meeting. And so we're hoping to both gather input from folks at the meeting in addition to online if they can't make it.
So is this going to be like a forum or a panel discussion? Or?
It's more like an open house. So you're going to show up. There's going to be 6 different stations. Stations where you can identify, different spots on the map in Michigan City where, they have a lot of recreation value and they attract folks. Spots on the site where, there would be a lot of interest in being able to access it or having a particular type of amenity. There will be pictures of signage, park benches, fishing piers, things of that nature to really glean what sort of visual aesthetic appeal folks are looking for, and then there's going to be an opportunity to just tell your story and the things that you like to do recreationally. If folks have certain areas of the beach, say for instance, where they like taking their dog on like a 1-hour walk or something like that, those are the sort of stories we want to gather.
And there will be fishing, or that's going to be discussed?
There's a strong desire for that. The question is, what does that look like? But the Northwest Indiana Steelheaders have been very involved in this process. Everyone wants to see fishing on site, and so what that looks like, that will be the output of the feasibility study. But I think everyone agrees that fishing is one of the big opportunities to get people here. Mm-hmm. So we want to encourage that.
So I have a point to make too.
Yeah.
I think every time someone wants to run a 5K in the city, it's really hard because we got to close streets and whatever. We don't have a place to have 5K. So it would be so awesome if this place would have something doable for a 5K race, like all the fundraisers and things like that.
Totally. Yeah. As a former cross-country runner, I hear you 100%.
I was going to say, too, that there's actually a pretty large, not super large, but pretty significant trail running community here that I'm a member of. And I know that because there's not really trails to run in Michigan City. So we all go to the state parks and the national park. Do you know, is this something that would come out of this as well from the input? Is it sort of like already decided? Are they going to be paved trails, or are they going to be dirt trails?
That's not decided yet, and so that would be a product of input that folks provide. Because certainly, if you choose just like a sand surface, or if you choose limestone, or even something paved, those have very different sort of considerations in terms of maintenance and who is able to access the site and how you access the site. And so.
Is it sand out there?
Currently, there is not a trail system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what the soil is? It sandy, or is it more?
It's sandy. It's heavily saturated. Part of what would likely be building this elevated trail system through the wetland is the soil from the excavation of the work that's being done now.
Okay.
So
fantastic.
Yeah. And if you're looking to attract mountain bikers, that's a different sort of surface than you would use if you want it to be like regular road bikes or hybrids and things of that nature. So we'll be looking to gather all those things from folks, in addition to if there is like a real sort of strong year-round interest in using, like if it would attract cross-country skiers, or if it attracts snowshoers, those all have varying considerations. But a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah.
So my understanding is this will be on the sanitary district site.
It's
actual
on the
document. So if anybody watching at home would like to have a copy of this document, I believe it's on sanitary.
Yes, and it's on the sanitary district's Facebook page.
Nicole Messakar reached out to me yesterday to see if we could host one of these potentially in my classes.
100%.
I'm on board with that.
Awesome.
A lot of my students have a hard time with transportation, so I think if you all would come to us, we can definitely make that happen.
Definitely. And the fact that Krieger is so close to this site, we want to leverage that as much as possible. So
wonderful.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
We're going to try to be big advocates of this.
Awesome.
And give me copies of these. I have some ideas of where to share.
Definitely.
All right, great. Green transportation is not happening today because Nancy's not here. And the grants committee will have to go on, except that the IU sustainability cohort. So we did get into that grant. And my information for that is, you guys add on to this if you have that. We're going to have a webinar on next Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Oh, I just caught that. So it's 9 a.m. our time.
Thank you. 9
All right.
on the 16th.
Correct. I just saw the Eastern Time thing, which kind of... All right. And they're encouraging one member of each community to attend the live webinar. So, like, when they say the word attend, do they mean watch online? Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, and you might be videoed into. So
I see. So, like, kind of
and interact, maybe.
You see. All right. So, who would be available for the Thursday one? I just was planning to do it at home.
More than one day?
I was just going to do it at home.
They're having it more than one day?
Well, apparently there's a second one, but I have another meeting. I have the Urban Waters meeting the next week. I told her I cannot make the next week, but I could do this week. So I guess we're just going to watch from home. So yeah, let me know who's watching. I mean, you're planning to do
Yes.
it? And Faye, are you going to try? So the three of us at least will be doing that. I think Deb said she's going to be out of town and she cannot.
And Green Drinks is that night too. We can
Oh,
discuss.
well, we can discuss it. Sure, we can announce whatever we find out.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking. So we did make it into this cohort. We applied and we're in. And that's pretty much all I know is that we're getting started with the webinar. So it is a continuation of our, greenhouse gas grant that we got. And we're going to be in a group that's going to be talking about environmental resilience with IU. All right. So that's what I know so far of that. So I'm very looking forward to this because I've been talking this up with a lot of people, our Earth Day extravaganza. So Andy,
Excellent.
get us up to date on that, please.
I'm really excited with the holidays. I haven't talked to a ton of people, but I do have a meeting set up, hopefully for next week, early next week, with Robin from the library. We're going to go and look at the space so I can get a good idea before I
Can I back up,
sure.
for the people watching at home?
Sorry, yes.
Can we talk about what this is? and
Yes,
what's
the
going to
Earth
happen?
Day
Give a
extravaganza
little
will
summary.
happen on April 25th, approximately 1 to 5 p.m., as long as that works out for everybody. It will be free to the community at the Michigan City Public Library. We'll have crafts and education. There won't be any vendors, and it's free. That's part of having it at the library for free as well. We have a number of people that have signed up to have crafts or education. That's in. If you want to see at home, you can go ahead and look. 2 meetings ago, we went through everybody on that. Haven't added anybody new yet because I'm talking to Robin at the Michigan City Public Library to check out the space before we get too many people and not enough space. So we're going to check that out. And then I also talked to Sasha from Waste Management Recycling, and we're going to put a little information in their newsletter. So I was just going to get back with her tomorrow on that. I was thinking probably give the time and say, come for crafts and education.
Activities,
crafts, education. If there's, anything else that would sound good. Free, of course, sounds good. And then, of course, that's, like I said, going to go into their newsletter. And then for First Friday, I still have to find somebody who'll let me stand outside of their establishment. Hint, hint. For First Friday in April. What's that?
Can we talk to Aaron at Fiddlehead?
That's probably, I have to talk to him about some other stuff too, so that's a good idea.
Otherwise, you come by us.
Yeah, so for the art project, I have plenty of garbage for that. I'm just going to look for a container. And I was thinking to get a container, if I can find, if anybody has one of the blue mason jars from Hoosier Slide. Because that would be even more artsy. Blue mason jars are from Hoosier Slide, which is not here anymore, largest tune in Indiana. So, if we put a bunch of cigarette butts in it that we found on the beach, then it would be a little bit more artsy, I think, right? So if anybody has any of those blue mason jars that they want to loan me, or knows where I can find one, let me know. Not the new made mason jars, of course. They're like a special blue with our singing sands. So I think that's about it for now. I hope to really talk to everybody in the next couple of weeks since we're back from the holidays and get it really firm and find out.
So it's a free event.
Yes.
And we're asking organizations to have tables, but with something maybe interactive. Because I was yesterday at the tree board, I offered a table to them because the tree board would be good.
Yes.
And I thought maybe they could do a little activity with, guess which tree this is, and like whether it's native or it's what we want to have in the city or not, things like that. So I think that would be really easy.
That'd be good for me too.
So I've been kind of promoting it. So I hope we don't have too many tables, but I think that's.
Well, I think
we'll spill out of that room if we have to. I think.
Yeah, and then in the room, it's adjoining, and then the thing I don't know yet though is because they're doing so much construction in there. What we think it's going to look like, it might not. So that's why I really want to go in there and see what their plans are and make sure. I'm sure if we like have a table right outside of the room too, that's fine, and we can have tables up in the out in like the middle of the area too, not just around the edges. I helped another lady do an engineering fest in there, and she had at least 10 different tables. So I think we'll be all right. But again, just to make sure before we invite anybody else, don't want to make them sit on the floor out in the corner or something and not have room. Sorry, because that would be terrible. Okay. So I think that's about it for now.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Mark that date in your calendar.
Yep. April 25th.
All right. Under new business, I did jot down the Michigan City Tree Inventory, and I invited our city forester, Jessica Arnett, to come by.
Sure.
All right.
So yes, project I'm super excited about. It's actually it's a federal highway funded project, so it is more than trees. It's actually a right-of-way asset inventory. So all of the structures that are in our city right-of-ways are going to be, part of this inventory. And trees, obviously, are one of our major assets in our right-of-ways. It's a match grant. Through NIPSCO, INDOT. INDOT, NERC, yep. And so where we are right now is we're finishing up the scoring for the consultants that have submitted LOIs to our RFP, and going to get the final tabulation over to NERC for our INDOT approval, and then be able to award the contract and go forward. It's a match grant. The total is like $91,375. $73,100 of that is funded by INDOT, and then the remaining $18,275 that's our match. And the funds are right now, not right now, they are coming from both the Redevelopment Commission and then from my tree planting, purchasing, and maintenance budget. So the RDC has committed $10,000, and then the remaining $8,275 is coming out of my budget. So we're set with the match, we're set with the funding, and really excited to get it on the ground and get it rolling. All right. Does anybody have any questions or?
The only question I have was I did miss a tree board meeting last night, but with the 8,000 that's coming out of the 50,000 that each year that the city gives, okay.
Yeah.
For the trees.
Yeah, and we have I encumbered last year's allocation, and then at the just at the end of the year, I was able to squeak in a really substantial tree purchase for spring planting that I'm really excited about. So we're going to have new trees going in. We're going to be having the right-of-way asset inventory going on, and substantially getting what I need to be able to put together a long-term urban forestry management plan.
Nice.
So yes.
And the watering. Don't forget about that.
Yes. So my assistant, Lemuel Porter, and I, we're actually in the process of obtaining our commercial driver's licenses. Over at Central Services, we have a 2,000-gallon watering tank trailer. And so, we're going to be able to assume watering responsibilities in-house. We won't have to worry about procuring a CDL driver or, letting our poor trees go thirsty. So just really excited about everything we're going to be able to do in spring.
And we also have a program for residents too for tree replacement and their tree lawn. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So members of the tree board had put together a really great application. So if you have an empty tree lawn, or there'd been a tree that had been removed for any reason, and you'd like a replacement, there's a form you can fill out that's on our website. You can request replacement, or if you'd like to, take it a step further and actually replace the tree yourself, there's an application to, choose a tree that's on our approved tree list, something that you would enjoy, and purchase and plant and assume responsibility for yourself. So kind of like a tree adoption.
So what's the website?
If you will, it's on the city's website.
The city?
And if you go to boards and commissions, it's under the tree board. Yeah, Michigan City Tree Board, and then they've got those forms there. And actually, at the extravaganza, one of the things I want to bring is some of those forms as well to have on our table, and then also I had a couple of, just even, getting names and addresses of people who, would be interested in having a tree in their right of way, in their tree lawn. Just making sure that I can collect as much data as I can, because we have 200 trees coming in the spring. So that I've spent 2 full days. My assistant came with me one day and it went a lot quicker, but identifying these trees out at the nursery and tagging them and letting them know that they're going to be coming home and living with us in Michigan City.
Awesome.
So, yeah, very excited.
Could you help me find that? Because I'll put the link in the minutes.
Yes. Let me see here. Tree ordinance. Should be up there because I had requested that it be put up. I wonder if they put it somewhere else. I can find it or have them let me know where they put it, but it should be online.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll shoot an email over and make sure that we can find it. Because I want people obviously to be able to find it if they'd like to have a tree in their tree lawn.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
All right. Public comments. I think we have one member of the public here, or actually city councilman. Do you have any comments? Or
No, I don't have any comments, but one thing that may pertain to the board is I know Jessica knows about it with the tree board, and the Washington Park Zoo is actually working on a vacant lot project. We've been working on it for probably it's been a while, but where we're going to actually do like an orchard, bushes, and different fruit trees and stuff to feed the animals. So we're going to get that underway this spring. So
at the zoo?
No, it's going to be actually behind Blue Chip on Peru Street, I think it is. It's a vacant lot by the city.
So someone's going to pick the fruit and everything and bring it over to the zoo?
Yeah. Well, what happens a lot of times with the zoo is we get a lot of families with little kids that want to donate their time, and we really don't have something for them to do. So our plan is to send them over there, pick some apples off the ground or whatever it may be, and bring it back to the zoo
and remove invasives. Sorry, that's not as much fun, but yeah.
So that was one of the projects where we've been teaming up with the tree board, the Washington Park Zoo. So that'll be underway this spring, and any questions or anything else, just let me know. So I just wanted to give that. It kind of pertains to the board, what the mission is.
All right, thank you. All right, commissioners, anyone else have comments? Faye, anything?
Not really. I just have a couple of announcements.
Great.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the community honoring Martin Luther King Day, the breakfast at P&W, Purdue Northwest now. Anyway, it's Monday, January 20th at 8:30 a.m. to 10. The doors will open at 8. It's a breakfast. Our speaker this year is going to be Dr. Vanessa Allen McLeod. She's the president and chief executive officer of the Urban League of Northwest Indiana, which LaPorte is supposed to be included with the Urban League, but we don't get too much information from them. But anyway, and then that's at the James DeWalken Student Service Activity Complex. Mm-hmm. And we're asking that you bring new socks. All sizes are welcome to the sorority Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Donates them to the local organizations that need, like kids that need socks or whatever, like the homeless shelters and stuff like that. And also they send them abroad. They have an organization that they work with overseas. I can't remember if it was in Africa or Jamaica, but it was one of those. And so I just wanted to bring that to the community's attention. It's a free breakfast, MLK Day.
It's very nice.
And
it's always very nice.
It's always nice. And the kids are out of school this year, so we're hoping that the parents bring their kids to come out and not, to kind of be, because that's why we chose the campus P&W, so the kids can get used to coming onto the campus and and hopefully encourage them to go to college. Okay.
Could I see that flyer, please? Let me try to
Sure,
load these.
sure. And one other thing, the MLK program at the National Park, Douglas Center, Indiana Dunes National Park is celebrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders at the Indiana Dunes National Park, Douglas Center on Saturday, January 18th between 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And the festival starts at 1 p.m. with the film I Have a Dream. Then join National Park Ranger Steve Rodriguez for a presentation at 2 p.m. And it's supposed to be really interesting. Someone said that since we are environmental conscious and all, I'll pass that down to you.
I said that to Daisy.
There's an Earth Day event, not our weekend, April 18th. And Porter County, it's huge. It's at the Porter County Fairgrounds. I can get the address for that. They have it at the fairgrounds, and it is absolutely huge. It's a free event, and then they have vendors, activities, education, and food as well. I'm not sure on the time on that right now. I could look it up and have it by the end of the meeting.
But that is April.
Yeah. That's April. It's an Earth Day event. I don't know what the name of it is. It's in the early planning stages. I just saw a Facebook. And got an email for it. So last year they didn't have it because they were remodeling the buildings, but they've had it the last couple of years. There's Pratt Recycling is almost right next door to it, and they're there. It's a really huge event. I enjoy it. So the kids like it too. Smokey the Bear was there.
Nice.
Last time. So that's always fun too. The kids get pictures with Smokey, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's always fun.
I think April 18th.
Yes. Did I say the wrong day?
I don't know, from 9 to 4.
Oh, 9 to 4.
9
Great.
to
You
4.
looked it up. Thank you.
And I'm gonna ask you, Monday morning beach cleanup, when is that starting back up again?
I'm not sure, honestly. Okay. I know Nora, who does it, will just go whenever she wants to go to the beach. This past year in 2019, the official kickoff was the first April. It was the first Monday in April or near Earth Day in April. Don't quote me on that. It was in April, though. So if she's going to follow that, I'd say probably a kickoff
We'll keep an eye
around
out for
Earth
that.
Day.
Okay.
But I can put it in my notes to chat with her. She will have a table at the Earth Day extravaganza for us, too. The Monday mornings, the grassroots beach cleanup lady.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Daisy, got anything?
Yeah. At Krieger, so I teach environmental science at Krieger, and last year we started a program with PepsiCo Recycle Rally, and we collected bottles and cans, and we got 9th place in the nation, which got us $10,000 for the school. And so every place you go up, you get $5,000 more. So I am about to reach out to the community to have everybody collect their cans and bottles to bring them to us so that we can weigh them and plug them in online and hopefully get higher than 9th place this year.
Plastic.
So you're talking soda cans and bottles?
Yep, soda cans and
Plastic
bottles. Also
bottles.
milk jugs, anything, any drink container with plastic numbers 1 or 2, and then aluminum cans.
So no cartons, no juice boxes. Okay.
I mean, we could,
But
we don't get
not for
points
that.
for those.
Okay.
So
Just want to make sure that if I say not all drinks, but yeah. Okay. Good.
Are you opposed to having beer cans being delivered? I don't. I'm just asking. That's why it's a little touchy.
I have a couple of community organizations and businesses who have collection sites. So if there is another business or organization that's interested in having a collection bin, I can drop those off to you, and then they can collect the beer cans, and then those businesses and organizations weigh them for us. I have to train them as an official weigher, and then you send me the numbers, and we can take those. So, but at the school,
Can they be crushed? The
Sure.
cans? Okay.
Yeah.
And tell them what the school did with that money last year. It's really awesome.
we got the gym floor redone. That
Nice.
hasn't been done in like 15 or 20 years. We got a new scoreboard, and then the boys and girls basketball teams got new uniforms.
Nice.
Isn't that
Wow.
nice?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
From recycling. Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
I'm impressed.
So you can start bringing them the
Now.
bottles and cans now.
Yeah. hmm
And between the hours of
7 and 3.
And just bring them to Krieger?
Yep. But if you're an official weigher, you don't have to bring me those cans. You can put them in your own recycling bin.
Oh, I see. If you had to be certified weigher. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If we are done for today, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Well, I think I'm entertaining it, but I'm not
sorry.
starting it.
I thought you did.
No, I can't. So,
I'll entertain motion to adjourn.
thank you. And now you can second. All right. Thank you. All right. We're adjourned. We'll see you next month, February 13th.